Fuel to both engines of the Air India Flight 171 that crashed in Ahmedabad was cut off moments before impact. A preliminary report into the crash revealed that both engines ceased functioning seconds after takeoff as fueling mechanisms switched from run to cut-off. The report by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau revealed cockpit voice recordings that showed one of the pilots asking the other why he cut off the fuel. The other pilot responded, "I did not." In its 15-page report provides the first official account of the final moments of India's worst aviation accident in decades. The Boeing 7878 Dreamliner was headed from Ahmedabad to London when it crashed, killing all but one of the 242 people on board, as well as 19 people on ground. The report says that once the aircraft achieved the top 180 knots, both engines' fuel switches transitioned from run to cut-off within 1 second. The pilots seem to have attempted to restore fuel flow, with fuel switches moving back to run within seconds. Both engines began relight sequences, with engine 1 showing signs of recovery, but insufficient time and altitude prevented successful restart and the aircraft crashed. The RAM Air Turbine, an emergency backup power source, was deployed. The other key findings include the flap setting was correct and the landing gear was down. There were no reports of bird activity or weather concerns. Also, the aircraft weight was within normal limits. It also said that pilots were experienced enough, medically fit, and well rested. Importantly, the report suggests no recommended actions to the B787-8 and or GE Gen X 1B engine operators and manufacturers at this stage, suggesting investigators have not identified systematic issues that would affect the global fleet of over 1,100 Dreamliners currently in service. The plane was carrying 230 passengers, 169 Indians, 53 British, 7 Portuguese and a Canadian, along with 12 crew members. 1 passenger miraculously survived. And for the latest, our principal correspondent Disha Shah has sent us this report from Mumbai.
Exactly a month after a 15-page preliminary report has been released on the Ahmedabad's Air India plane crash incident which killed 260 people, and the report highlights about what happened in the final moments before the crash. First and foremost, right after the flight took off, the report highlights that how there was a fuel switch transition, a rapid transition of the fuel switches from the run mode to cut-off mode. And that is how the fuel supply to both the engines were cut off, and the aircraft started to lose its altitude and it crashed to the ground seconds after the aircraft took off. So these are some important details that have come to light. Second most important detail is the fact that more cockpit conversations are also being analyzed to understand what was the conversation that happened between the pilot and the co-pilot, because the report mentions only 2 statements that they could hear. One pilot immediately asking another pilot that why did you cut off, and the second pilot, who nobody has been identified as to which was the one who said that statement, but the second pilot immediately said that he did not do so. So of course this theory is also being worked upon. Secondly, now more cockpit conversations, more technical parameters are being analyzed and examined as to ascertain the exact major cause that led to the crash, and this report needs to be submitted within the 3 months' time. This is Disha Shah reporting here for WION from Mumbai.